Hey guys, my name is Ethan, this is Carberra, and welcome back to the series where I teach you how to analyze and visualize data in Python. Today we're talking about sorting and summarizing data. So we're going to be sorting the data by a particular column or by multiple columns as well, and we're also going to be summarizing the data. So we're going to be getting, the mean, averages, the percentiles. We're going to get the standard deviation of all the different columns. If you don't know what all those things mean, then I'll explain those when we actually get into it. Of course, if you find the video helpful at any point, then consider liking it to let me know, and subscribing so you don't miss out on new videos in the series. But yeah, with that, let's get into it. And once again, I've got like the boilerplate code in here, so we don't have to type it out every single time. For this video, we just need pandas again, and we're using the complete 2020.csv. And this time, if you copy paste from episode 4, you won't need to change a thing. How about that? So let's get that running and loaded, just to make sure that it all still works. There we go, that took a little while. Okay, so after we loaded that in, we could do the first of our 4 lines of code. It's not going to be a lot of coding this video, it's going to be largely talking. But the first thing we're going to be talking about is our df.describe. So if you run that, we then get this nice little data frame here. This actually returns a data frame in itself. As you can see, we have all the columns here, and this one it's actually printed all the columns. Oh no, it hasn't actually. It's only printed some of them. That's fine. And then we have these rows called count, mean, standard deviation, min, 25%, 50%, 75%, and max. Now, most people would be able to assume what some of these mean. So the count is just the number of rows, so every single one is going to be 366. The mean is the mean average of all the values in the column. So for example, the views, the mean is 605, red views, the mean is 30, comments, the mean is 7, etc, etc. Next up is the standard deviation, which is basically just the deviation in values. So it's sort of like a metric that tells you just how varied the data spread is. So with the views, you can see that the deviation is really rather high. And that's because at the start of 2020, no one really knew who I was. At the end of 2020, I was getting thousands of views a day. Well, over 1,000 views a day. And so the standard deviation is going to be pretty high. Red views and comments are a lot lower. Likes and dislikes. Dislikes especially has a very, very low standard deviation. It's essentially just the spread of the values, I guess. And that's what that number tells you. Estimated minutes for standard deviation, 1,133, my word. And after that, you get the percentile ranges. So min and max could be taken as 0 and 100%. Respectively, and these are essentially certain points. So the min and the max is obviously the minimum value and the maximum value, the 0th and 100th percentile. However, the 25th, the 50th, and the 75th are all at certain points in the data. So say you had a set of data that was 100 values long, sorted from smallest to largest, and it was all numerical. The minimum value would be the first element. The 25th percentile would be the 25th element. The 50th percentile would be the 50th element. 75th, or 75th element, and the max would be the final element in the list. So it's basically if you were to sort the data where like each bit would stand, essentially is what that means. So this is a really nice little thing to have. It basically just shows you some information about the data. This is quite useful for like pre-processing. You can kind of work out your strategy from there. But it's not just data frames you can do that to. You can actually do that to series as well. So if I would go, if you just wanted to know one for a single column, then you could just do that, and it will tell you the same thing, but for a single column. So as you can see, it is the same data, just output a little bit differently there. And now that we've finished summarizing the data, we can sort it, although you don't have to summarize before you sort it, but I just thought it'd be nice to put these two in together because they're both quite short and simple things. So the simple way of doing it is to do df.sortValues, and then sort by the column that you want to sort by. So if you were to do that, we'll see that we're now sorted by view. So 7, 8, 8, 8, 8, 10, and then you can see at the end 15, 16, 15, 17, 15, 46, 15, 52, and 15, 72. If you wanted them in descending order, then you would do ascending equals false. And you run that, as you can see, that the data is precisely flipped around. So sorting values by one column is very easy, but what if you wanted to sort by multiple? So say, for example, these 3 rows all have 8 as the number of views, but what if you wanted to sort by something else, maybe like estimated minutes watched or something? Because at the moment it's sort of random. I think it's still sorted by the day. So what if you wanted to sort by estimated minutes watched if the number of views was the same? So you could do that. You could do. I'm just going to copy. Whoops! I'm just going to comment this up. and do sort values, views. Well, you actually pass a list in here. So you do views and then estimated minutes watched. And then if you run that, you'll see that we have our 888, and you can see by the indexes that it's actually sorted slightly differently. If you go to estimated minutes watched, you see 6, 10, 12. So these three values these three rows all have 8 as their number of views, and then you have this column then sorted. But if the views are different, so in this case all the views are different, all the estimated minutes watched will not be sorted, because you're prioritizing sorting by the views, and then you're sorting by the estimated minutes watched if you need to. But yeah, that is pretty much everything I wanted to say about summarizing and sorting. Of course, if you have any questions, don't be scared to leave a comment, or you can ask in a Discord server, which you can find a link to in the description below. But yeah, with that, I'd like to thank my awesome patrons for being utterly incredible, and I'll see you next time where we talk about filtering data.